Tonight, I just want to say again, thank you to Andrew Richards and Debbie Rogers and Falmouth Community TV Media Center. It is filmed, and it will then be shown a little later, and it's also on YouTube. And there are 4-minute slots, and my job is basically to keep this moving. Andrew times everybody. Don't worry too much if you go over by a smidgen, but if you go on endlessly, then I have to take out the hook, which I don't like to do. And I just wanted to say, just tonight, I wanted to dedicate this particular program to Adelaide Cummings. Some of you may have known Adelaide. She died about a week and a half ago. She was 105. She was named Falmouth's first poet laureate when she was 98 years old. Wonderful tennis player. And I called her a good citizen of poetry. When I ran Calliope at the West Falmouth Library, she came. She was herself an end-rhymed, metered poet. She started writing poetry in her mid-80s. She wrote 5 books in 10 years. She also was she was there when Lindbergh landed in Paris. And every person she met, she was curious about them, and she wrote up until she died. And she said that it was the joy of poetry that kept her young. So this is for Adelaide. So our first performer, I don't say poet anymore because we have musicians and storytellers and comics as well as poet. Our first performer is Patricia Austin. Please welcome Patricia.
Well, I figured I might as well do this first, and then I'll stop shaking. All right. Some of you might have heard this. I think Alice did, and possibly you did too. But what I like to do is performance poetry, is what I call it. So anyway, this is called Life Among the Giants. From those who live among the giants, one might expect complete compliance, and not instead yawning defiance, accompanying entitled reliance. Thus is the nature of feline dance. Susceptible giants fall entranced, wishing to please and appease each glance, delighted by a destructive prance. Actions of cats among the giants must not be seen as maleficence, causing captors to withdraw their grants and toss them out among shrubs and plants to fend with ferals, grubs, and ants, and end upon coyotes' lance. For from the time of the Pharaoh hence, cats have been man's best defense against insidious arrogance, having scaled the top of nature's fence, and in spite of disobedience, thinking the mother takes no offense at behavior clearly malevolent, man lives to wreak more hindrance. Why no earthly retaliance? Maybe 'cause cats crave his presence. Perfect to paws up. Benevolence through unconditional acceptance. That's it. So, okay, now I'm still as nervous, but okay, here's another one. I don't think you've heard this one. This is called Point of Fact and Food for Thought. the mystical process of photosynthesis, which takes place in the plant kingdom by utilizing the electromagnetic radiation known as light to transform water and carbon dioxide in the air into sustenance, nourishment, glucose, food for the world of vegetation, while simultaneously extruding, exuding, expelling oxygen into the air for the sustenance and survival of the animal kingdom, stops at 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyway, so I'm over 4 minutes, or I'm.
Oh, thank you so much. It doesn't matter if I heard it before. I loved hearing it again, and you were perfect. One of the things people will stop me if I'm in the food store or on Main Street, and they'll say, tell me about that new thing you're doing at Falmouth Community TV. And now I can say, turn on and you can see it on YouTube, and it will be broadcast on Channel 13. But thank you, Patricia Austin. And our next poet, performer, I would say needs no introduction, except I will introduce her. She's someone that you've seen before here, and a delight each time she reads. Millie White. Please welcome Millie.
Patricia. Amazing. Golly, where are you?
I'm here.
Wow. As I keep suggesting to folks, every dog from Great Danes to miniature Chihuahuas are part wolf. It's in their DNA. This story poem is about two of them, both good friends of mine. Little wolves who look like little lambs. As I entered their home, they knew, they had known long before I entered, that I was not the leader of their pack returning home. They barked and barked until I opened the door and they could see and get the scent of me. I was a friend, returned again to be with them, to share time with them whilst their alpha leaders were away. The little white and gray one jumped up and down, wanting to sniff the air close to my mouth, wanting to know what I had brought back for her from the hunt. I, on the other hand, had been taught by one of the alpha leaders that this was unacceptable behavior, even for this relative of a wolf. Harbor could not contain this ancient exercise for demanding food. So, down, sit, Harbor, said I, holding my hand near her squirming body, and reluctantly she did. She was rewarded with, good girl, and massage around her ears and shoulders, again, my showing ancient behavior of dominant wolf approval. The older black and white one, Skipper, could no longer leap up and down, but neither could his excitement be contained. So he rolled and pushed his scent into the carpet and end of the couch to spread the joy, the message of my return. This way, others would recognize that he, as doggy leader, had welcomed me, that I would honor his leadership by feeding him first from the hunt. Skipper, almost blind, almost deaf, but finished with his rolling, his spreading the scent of his dominance, followed my sign language and high-pitched whistle to the backyard door with Harbor. With joyful abandon, they ran side by side, their ears bouncing up and down, keeping time with their little feet. I have seen films showing wolf families doing just that, playing and rejoicing, sniffing the air for scents from far away and near. Just so did Skipper and Harbor, stopping their run to complete their toilette, following old scents in the dirt, grasses and bushes, discovering new ones as they roamed their territory. At last, Harbor ran to the back doggy door, with Skipper in as fast a hot pursuit as he could manage. It was time for food from the hunt. The special bone-like treats, with Skipper giving wolf snarls if Harbor approached too near. Afterwards, Skipper came over for his shoulder massage, my showing wolf-like respect for his being a leader as he held his head high. Later, they led me, inviting me into their sleeping chamber, Harbor able to jump up and share the bed with me, Skipper rolling himself like a ball in his floor bed. With giant wolf-like sighs, we drifted off. Like wolves everywhere, we would dream. Good night, dear packmates. Good night. Sleep and dream well.
Well, thank you, Millie. It's always good to know there's equal time for dogs. So we had a cat, we have to have something about dogs. And just so, just take a minute to get comfortable with the mic, and please say your name as well when you start. And our next performer is also someone I know very well. Please welcome Sam Carlton. Sam.
Okay. Good to be here. My dog would love to be here too. I'm going to read two poems, and the first one is a glance back at Valentine's. It's called an Aubade, and it's titled Aubade. And if you don't know what an Aubade is, you probably do. It is a morning love song, and it often involves a parting of lovers, that kind of sweet, sad feeling you get when you say goodbye to somebody you love and the dawn is coming up. So this is called Aubade. Far from where you sleep, the sky brightens here, and on its white sheet, a black net of trees and branches write themselves in script. I glance up as a glow fills the grove, and flares with gold and green, then light brown, flashing as your hazel eyes once did. Your hair, tawny in the morning light, is it streaked with silver now, or as white as the sheets you left me on? I long to see you. Just a glimpse before I go, although I'm not sure you want to see me. Or just which one you are. The next poem is a missive. Thank you. Is a missive to my house, to myself. It must have been a bad hair day because I didn't want to go out. So if you're a woman, you know what a bad hair day is. Then, as I was writing it for the front and the back door, I suddenly realized it was a poem. It was a poem, which cheered me up. And it turned into one that I thought I'd read today. This is for going forward into the next season. It's called On Leaving the House. Do not go quietly. Run, if only in your mind. Dance with the light that you feel, with music you hear, with an abandon that takes you. Don't stop to be polite or hide your passion. Wear it with pride like a flung red cape. Leap up. Leave your shadow behind. It will find you again. There is nothing you ought to do, nothing that owns you. Whatever you love most, you are forever. Eternal spirit, wind, water, earth, fire, stitched together with light. Thank you. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you, Sam. There's no way that you could ever have a bad hair day or any other kind of bad day. And I did, of course, do the thing that I always do. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Alice Kochimba, and I'm awfully grateful to have been asked to host these events. It feels to me like it's time for communities to come together. And certainly with the arts, that's really one way to bring all kinds of people together. So thank you for hosting Poetic License. Our next poet, because I know she's a poet, is first time here. So we always give first time poets or performers an extra round of applause. So please welcome Megan Quinn.
Thank you, Alice, and everyone. I'm Megan Quinn, and I'm going to be reading from Slow Dance Bullets, which is my first book of poetry. Does this sound okay? Yeah. So the book follows a speaker through a journey of religion, addiction, and kind of a queer sexuality. And you can get a copy at 8 Cousins right up the street or online. Because it was almost recently Valentine's, I'll read some of the sonnets from the book. They're sort of anti-sonnets, but that's okay. And in most, well, one will be free verse, but the speaker is addressing her beloved, another woman. Felony. Her lips are smushed on my shoulder asleep. Her lips are cold caves glinting with shadow. Her lips are holding the mumbles of dreams. Her lips are monarchs trembling with blow. Her lips are backpacks of knives and Red Bull. Her lips are apples clenched in the jaws of dogs. Her lips now click their trilled wings still. Her lips are hell's barter with bodegas. Her lips are saltines crumbled on sheets. Her lips are sweet. They part like paper boats. Her lips are wounded, stifling a scream. Her lips are begging for the burn of rope. Her lips are hashish, smoking in the dark. Her lips are storms, pelting the old ark. Boardwalk. You flick ashes outside knockoff jewelry shops and then pee in the changing room with the door open and pull on your puka shells. That's when we buy fried squid from the food truck, lobster creamed ice, crepes in Boston foil. We smell clams thawing under sand, cut lemons, the waves, the water that has run out of lies to tell. And we tell ourselves a lie again, the one where we're unashamed of the arrows erupting in our own bodies. For hours, you tan and read. Rub oil along the greased valley of your neck, where sunspots start to rise like fat pepperonis, the kiln of your jeans baking. Maybe later we'll come back to this spot on the sand and give way to everything that we've pushed down for so long. And this one's kind of like an elegy, not in form. Baptizo Roman baths. All the notes I wrote to her in Latin class led to our first sleepover to make a model of the Roman baths. The blue balm seeped as I spun the wheel of the beguiling water, but a bath somehow is just not enough to rinse the living from its need to go on dying. And so with a hot glue gun, I mounted Moncala stones to the sides of aqueducts, hardening in clay. She bent pipe cleaners, twisted them into shapes of shallow pools, laughing. Later, we made our project ancient-looking by pushing pennies into paper mache. As the Roman baths dried, we put on bathing suits. But why didn't I leave the water running as I watched her cling to the lip of the tub? I waxed moonlight off her skin as she stood there starving, her parts cupped gently in her bluish hands. I knew then that she had scared herself. She was just a foe fading behind a slit of grass. And then the last one, back to a sonnet. Because I slept through the funeral. You were in the hospital, but I didn't want to go, as horses clopped puddles of snow and you lay dying of an overdose. The body, a tank of tubes, lonely ghost. But then I couldn't hear anything but your lungs through which air got stuck, so the gelding breathed through you. Plumes of air, gusts blown from monsoons. Were you withering in a negligee as your heartbeat started to regulate? Then your organs burned across snowfields, heating a hospital bed unsturdy on four wheels. You said you saw the mare, noble, placid. I carried you like wood and placed you in your casket. Thank you.
Thank you. There's something about a sonnet, that's for sure. And these are the poems that we need to hear. So thank you for doing that. Our next performer is also new to the mic, and he's going to be performing on the Native American flute. Please welcome Michael Lavender. Michael.
I just have just a little bit of setup. I'm all mic'd up here. So this is a Native American flute. I play the piano and I play the flute, but I can't do them together. I can't do them at one time, but I figured out a way to do it at one time, and it's complicated, but it works. You hear me? And the name of this song, by the way, is called, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. It's called To Love Again. And I just got to, well, look at that. It's already paired. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you.
So we think it's hard to just come up with a book or a piece of paper. It's you're all plugged in. And Michael, did you also do the piano that we heard too? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you can come back and do the piano too. Well, but please come back, flute and all. Our, Nobody likes to go after a musician. That's why I take an extra second. But we have the perfect person to come after Michael Lavender. We have Jackie Finney. Please welcome Jackie.
Hello. I'll move it this time like I know what I'm doing. I'm showing you my shoes, my lovely, I think lovely shoes. And there's a reason for that. Lovely, hope you can see them. Oh, I just love them. All right. My poem. If the shoes fit, wear them. Once upon a time, I entered a consignment shop, and my eyes did stop on at what I call now my honky-tonk shoes. Roughly scuffed soles, but with great holding seams, were an answer to this honky-tonker's dream for wearing at flat footings or at line dancing, because they are certainly not for everyday prancing. The hide, distinctively tanned and planned to suit artistic tastes, the very hairs therein showcased, in a purported suede of sorts. You could call them Carl Perkins if you wanted to. Blue suede shoes, I guess. Brown as are the soulful cow's eyes, azure blue, not unlike a mirror, reflection of the once overhead skies, where the bovines had lain relaxedly, in pastures resting, while chewing their cud, until one day came the mighty thud. Soft, supple, and yielding to the feet's pad, perfect for an allemande left and several do-si-dos, don't you know? Sure-footedness needed for the shuffling, stomping, and the lopping to the music of the Irish jigs and Scottish reels. Feet don't fail me now. Italian and expensive, I heard the salesperson say. Exclaimed I, what the hey? I mean the grass, of course. Who would have guessed to have my feet so aptly dressed to rodeo round a planked wide floor, responding to the music I adore? Fair and Young, Ernest Tubbs, Lefty Frizzell, and countless more. Salutes to, and in cahoots to, old times gone before. The sound of the sliding steel guitar, the sweet strings of the mandolin core, the blows of an Irish penny whistle, and the plinking of the banjo. Listen, can't you just hear the Celtic past still on track, leading back? Can't you just see the old men, their canes a-whittlin', their spittle from tobacco being spittled, while the fiddles are being fiddled? The swigging of the moonshine jugs. Can't you just hear the whiny twangs and high-toned voices sung, the plain-talk lyrics of the Anglo-Saxon, those plaintive stories of loss and heartache, achy-breaky, the drawls and the you-alls, the hoots, the hollers from people of few dollars, but with lots of common sense, the rocking chairs a-creakin', the spoons together clankin' against the bouncing knees. Can't you just feel the shaking of the planketings? Ah, the humor of the commentaried songs and stories, long yarns of recapitulated yesteryears for all to hear and remember, there in all their glory. My means to explore the lore and customs of my predecessors. Imagine, che viaggio, from Italy to Appalachia, USA, my shoes journey. I suppose I should call the shoes Bubba Wayne, but from this I do refrain. Instead, the name chosen is Lorenzo. I should tell you, they're very fancy. Donald L. Plindner, Made in the Mountains of Italy. Italy. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.
I especially like Feet Don't Fail Me Now. Uh, I love your wit. It's so great. It sounded a little bit like I was at a square dance. No. Oh. So our next performer is also her first time here. Please give an extra welcome to Markayla Riley. Markayla. Please welcome Markayla Riley.
Okay, hi, my name is Markayla. All right. You're free this weekend. Come out with me. I'm going to a party. My parents were states away, so I didn't need permission. Okay. My first mistake. Oh, you should wear this of mine. You look amazing. I arrive at Braff, my coworker, an acquaintance, someone I never really knew. I surveyed my surroundings. Ratio, 20 to 4. 20 guys to 4 girls, myself included. Felt the stares of them all assessing the new girl in the group. The only one who hadn't grown up with the rest. I was not a girl who was a lifelong friend or a girlfriend of their best buds. In their eyes, I was the fresh meat, dressed up and served up on a silver platter, young and pure. They were older, not by much, but old enough to have legally purchased their own beverages to bring to the party. I felt the change of energy, like air being slowly released from a balloon. But I stayed, naively thinking that I was safe. I mean, I was with a friend, right? My second mistake. Here, drink this. That's okay. I don't really drink much. You're okay. It's just a small glass of wine. I took the plastic yellow cup filled with the ruby red liquid and I brought it to my lips, like Snow White taking that damn apple to hers. Soon, this would bring me to my own kind of tortured state. Mistake 3. After feeling very dazed after just one small glass and thinking, it's because I don't drink, right? I mean, this must be why I'm feeling like this. I convinced myself that I'm okay. Here, get in the hot tub with us. Stripping down to my underwear. How could I not see what was being planned before me? I mean, how did I still feel secure? Mistake 4. 2 gents, best friends, hung by me, whispered kind things. Gentlemen, or what I imagined kind men to be. We're all going to our buddy's party. Want to come? What do you say? It'll be fun. Yeah, she'll be there too, but you should ride with us. My world spinning now around me in a deafening haze in my mind, a reeling carnival ride, trying to anchor myself to the only 2 constant near me, and they were oh so kind. So I hear myself slip in. Okay, I'll go. Mistake 5. All of a sudden I'm in a car, backseat of what feels like a Jeep or maybe a jail cell. My bracelet comes off as I try weakly to fend off the hands that I feel creeping all over me, pulling me this way and that. I'm carried into a basement. I try to fight like a sheep cornered by vicious wolves, like a dolphin caught in a net. I'm not able to break free. I later stop fighting. I let myself fall adrift into the darkness. I stop screaming my friend's name. I stop reaching out for help. I just stop. My body is their limp puppet that they together use in unison. Their friends watching, finding amusement as I lay trapped under their dark water, drowning. My eyes focusing on a beacon of red light in the corner of the darkness. An alarm clock. An alarm that never sounded for me. That red glow will forever stay burned into me. Red light is light no more, but a trigger of pain for years to come. What is worse than being violated again at a hospital later? 12 hours there, poking at me, taking pictures, as if I'm a lab rat caught in a cell. Or frogs spread out to be dissected again, talking to cops, having to relive something that you are still living through. And days later, you tell those male cops what they seem to can't understand. You say, you sure you didn't say yes? Are you sure it's a Rossi's boy? He's a good kid. You sure he's the one who did this to you? Wealth has a funny way of making all bad things go away, so my pain gets swept underneath the cashmere rug with all the other shit that they get to hide. Tainted, broken, dirty, used. Is self-thought worse than the monsters that abuse? Just breathe, 'cause girl, you aren't dead inside.
Thank you. Yeah, keep coming back. We want to hear more. And what a great ending to No, You're Not Dead Inside. It's amazing, it's the week of Weinstein's finally being convicted. They didn't convict him on the pattern, though, just on the individuals. So, we have someone who's going to play the guitar, and I think the person's name is Beth King. It's definitely King, but I can't read the first part. Is it Beth? Please welcome Beth, and I think it's her first time, too.
This song is circa 1977, and I don't know Adelaide Cummings, but I do know Joni Mitchell, and she was one of my inspirations way back when. But as it was written and rewritten, I dedicated it to my mother because she was the one who actually brought me to the ballet. It's called At the Ballet. And this was in grade school. I stood in front of you, you guessed it was okay, though I'm not sure if I wanted to. You brought me to the ballet that morning at my school. Oh, how I see the quiet snow now. The ice of winter did not feel bitter cold. I like what we decided, so nice at it. I'm kind of excited. Did you see those friends of mine? Because I saw your friends, and I know we both ended up talking to some of them during the snow show. We waited in the dim audience. Low drums rolled over murmurs, and then the silence. In the moments ballets take over, my thoughts flow, and the ballet troops seem to flow. Over and over and on to the stage. Have you ever seen such beauty? Look at that girl on stage appearing. Is it okay if I go down to the front seats? Sure, you thought she's all alone, yeah, well, statues of strength, so amiable, intelligent. You turn to your friends. If I go, I don't want any enemies in my friends. No, no one cares of my sadness, not even me. I'm comfortable in the dark, almost alone, and on my a pure soul that I wanted to look closer at her. I think she's out in winds, blue snow. Silk sheets are the sands of centuries could stress her achievement. My heart beats. Now, I was not a very strong individual. Well, my teeth were straight then too, but that doesn't mean everything, especially if my thoughts were well awkward. Yeah, I dialed the telephone to call the ballerina. Was it the very next day? Maybe. I just wanted to talk with her. It's just a crazy girl caught up in those anxious lives. So my sorrow was forced in. She was what I had life through. And if grace is what she danced, then that grace is what I romance. Well, there is something about such a lovely chance. Only to play a ballet song.
First of all, Beth, never, never, never think that it's not worth listening to, because we heard you and we heard Joni Mitchell all at the same time. How great is that? It makes reading our own poetry look a lot easier than it really is, too. And we have another duo. Musicians, new as far as I can remember here, so we give them also extra applause. Samantha Bauer and Frankie O'Rourke, guitar and vocals. Please welcome them.
I'm Samantha. This is Frankie. We're going to sing 2 songs for you. They're covers, not originals, even though I wish I wrote these. They're so good. No intro for that one.
Ready?
Just count it out, yeah.
All right.
I guess I'm ready as I'll ever be. Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song. There it is. Killing me softly with his words, telling my whole life with his song, killing me softly with his song. I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And so I came to see him and listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. I felt all flushed with with fever, embarrassed by the crowd. I felt it, found my letters, and read each one out loud. I prayed that he would finish, but he just kept right on, strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. La 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 la, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. Yay, we did it.
Willie?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us Willie Nelson.
This one's a Willie Nelson song. Or Elvis, depending on. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. And maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. And if I made you feel second best, girl, I'm sorry I was blind, but you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. And maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. And I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died, and give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. I'll keep you satisfied. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha, and thank you, Frankie. And you're not going to believe this, but first of all, unless there's anybody I missed, I end the night. And because I have a book, I actually can pull out a poem I wrote called Willie Nelson, 4 a.m. And so this is for you, Samantha. It was autumn, that first frost, when you left without a fuss, slithering out one day with courtesy. Here's where to send the mail. Was it too much effort for you to give me a real goodbye, have a satisfying fight? Instead, you left me kindly, the cruelest way. Left me to rake the leaves alone, put away the patio furniture, stock up on firewood, and fix the storm window you broke last spring, all the small abandonments. And while I was waiting to hear, I love you, or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get involved so soon, all you said was, keep the CDs and the drill. You even left your favorite shirt, the black and green check flannel with the tear in the elbow that I never got around to mending, the one I sleep in now. The one I always said made you look like Harrison Ford, and you knew then you were my very own superhero, my very handy man. Little things I should have said and done, but I never took the time. Now there's an early storm, and I lie awake listening for the sound of you tracking in wet, fresh snow all over the linoleum. This time, I wouldn't mind your leaving that jacket on the kitchen chair. And that was taking a workshop and being told that you had to write a poem with a movie star, a song, piece of clothing, and a body part. So I did get up at 4 a.m. and put on a lot of Willie Nelson and came up with that. And since somebody's here who actually knew my mother, this is Michael. Michael knew my mother. This is a poem that I wrote for my mother, Isabel Dimri Benet. No pockets in the shroud, she'd always say to someone who had enough but worried anyway. You leave this world as you come in, not poor, but without a penny. She taught me how to save the remnants of a summer day. Dishes undone, time to walk before the setting sun. On that pebbled shore, we'd bend and pick specks of glass, green, amber, rarer blue, what the tide bequeaths you. Look up, a mackerel sky, it'll rain by morning. Now the sea glass lamp shines like that speckled shore, and I can hear the crash of wave receding into whisper. Easy come, easy go, let go, no pockets in the shroud. And this is just a very short poem, and I wrote it in honor of Adelaide Cummings. At the age of 98, she was named Falmouth Poet Laureate. And I could change the title. It's called Why We Write, but I could change it to Why We Perform. Because the songbirds have gone, and the only sound at dawn an intermittent hiss of rain. Because the surf thumped and shushed the empty shore, and an insipid blue sky suddenly turned blood orange. Because such beauty evokes such loneliness that could also be yours. Thank you. So we want to especially give a round of applause to the new people who've come. And an extra round of applause to our regulars who keep us really on the edge of our seats, wondering what they're going to do next. And I just have a couple of announcements. I hope you missed us in January. We took the month off. And the next time we are here is on Thursday, March 26th. Again, we're going to start at 7, so sign up is at 6:30. And guess what? It'll be daylight savings by then. So it's going to feel like you've got an extra half of your day. So please, if you want to thank Andrew and me, just spread the word. Tell people it's a feel-good community event. There is no pressure and there is no criticism. Everybody has a voice. Everybody has a say. That's why it's called a community. And another thing you could do for FCTV is you could, I bet you everybody is getting emails. I got it on my email. You could vote for Martha's Vineyard Bank Community Impact Grant. You go on the email, and then you follow the link and you go to the Martha's Vineyard Community Bank, and you can help get FCTV a $2,500 grant. And then you can go to fctv.org for more information and for the link. And the only other thing I just wanted to let people know, hopefully it'll be in the Enterprise next Friday, is that Calliope Poetry is partnering right now with the Woods Hole Public Library, and we're going to celebrate the life and work of W.S. Merwin by bringing the film Even Though the Whole World is Burning to Woods Hole Public Library on Saturday, March 20th. I'm sorry, it's going to be on Saturday, March 14th, 3 p.m. It's a celebration of his environmental activism and the way he was as a poet was the way he was as a man. And he died a year ago on March 15th of 2019. So he has a poem called On the First Anniversary of My Death, and this was a way that we could honor his work. The film is gorgeous to look at. It's set on Maui, and if you can make it, the event is free, and it's down at the Woods Hole Public Library, Saturday, March 14th, 3 p.m. So hope to see you then, and certainly I hope to see you back here on Thursday, March 26th, 7 o'clock we go on. So really have a good month writing. Please keep writing, and please keep coming back. Thank you.